These are the Sublimation Ready mini wind spinners that we are going to be using today in this video. They are so cute. They're just tiny. They're under 3 inches, and then the center there, as you can see, comes in at about 1.5 inches. I will have links below for these and everything else that I use in the video, including Creative Fabrica All Access. So these cute little wind spinners come in at just a little under that 3 inches that we measured. And so I am in my Canva account, and I actually worked on these yesterday, and I came up with some cute designs. These real pretty hummingbirds is what I want to use. But I want to show you how I designed these. So I'm going to go into Canva here, and I'm going to do a custom size. And I am going to change this to inches because you're able to do that. And you can see here that I use 3 inch by 3 inch. So I will do that again, 3 by 3, and I'll create a new design. I could have just clicked that 3 by 3, but I wanted to show you how to do that. And so what I did first is I went to my elements here and I looked for glitter backgrounds. So I'll pull this up here, glitter backgrounds. And I have found on my wind spinners that if you print these real clear, that they actually give the effect of glistening and sparkling. So I do have the Canva Pro account. So you can see these here with the crowns. These are Pro. So I am going to go in and pick a few of these. I'll make these a little different than the ones that I already created. But I went in and I pulled in this sparkle. So now the glitter background. Now I'm going to add another page by clicking add page here. And I'm going to keep looking. I love the gold. I use this quite frequently. So I'm going to stretch this gold one out. And now I'm going to go and I'm going to hit add another page because I want three designs. And so let's see what Magic Recommendations has here. Ooh, that blue is very pretty. These are not the ones that I did in when I was designing here. I was just playing with this, getting ready for the video. So now I'm going to pull this down. So now we do know that that center is roughly 1.5 inches. Let me look here again, but yeah, it's roughly 1.5 inches. So that is where I want to put my images. So I went to Elements again and I searched for hummingbird because I thought that would be very pretty to put in there. And they didn't have quite what I was looking for. They had some nice ones here, but it wasn't quite what I was looking for. So I went into my Creative Fabrica All Access account and I searched for hummingbirds. And they had so many hummingbirds. So I did decide to download or upload some hummingbirds. I downloaded them from Creative Fabrica and then I uploaded them into my Canva account here. So you can see the 3 hummingbirds that I uploaded here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Elements and I need a circle. I am going to just put circle in here because I want to add a shape and I want to make this shape 1.5 inches. So this isn't going to stay on our design. It's just giving me that area that I'm going to be working with for the center. And as I stretch this, you can see that the width is 1.5 inches and the height is 1.5 inches there. So now I'm going to put this right in the center. You can see that with the magenta lines there, when I center it, that is dead center there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, Control C, and then I'm going to go up to this one. I'm going to hit Control V. And I'm going to go to the next one and I'm going to do the same thing, Control V, and it's going to put it in the exact same spot. Copy and paste it. So now we have our center in there. So this is what is going to be on that centerpiece. So now I'm going to go to my uploads and I am going to add the hummingbirds. So now I'm going to shrink this down so that I can get it to fit right in there. And then I'll go to the next one. See, does that look, yeah, that color looks good in there. So now I'll add this one. Whoops, stretch down here. Add this to the second one. Shrink it down. And I may rotate this because that one's pointing the other way. So now I'm going to go up here to flip, and I'm just going to flip it the other way. So now I have that. And now I will add the third one here. And I'm going to shrink it down so that it fits in that area. That looks pretty good because I'm also going to add some other background elements. So I'm going to go into elements here and I'm going to put swash or splash, one of them, and see what comes up here. As you can see, some elements come up that are very good for adding in some backgrounds. So maybe this, no, that's too light, but we can also change the color. So let's add this one, and then we'll go up here to edit image, and we'll change the color here. We'll see what it has for filters. And try this. It's a little not quite light enough. That one's pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to position this and I'm going to send it back one. I'm going to get rid of the circle here because I don't need that right now. So I'm going to delete that. And now I'm going to pull back, bring these all forward, bring him forward. And then I got to find my splash here. So I'm going to go to layers and pull that layer in right under there. Oh, still a little too light though. And I mean, too dark. I'm going to go in and I'm going to edit that image again and see what I can find here. Maybe go to duotones here and get something lighter so that it shows up back there. Looks pretty good. But you can pretty much change this, go to highlights and shadows. And so let's change this one and see what we can find here. I could change that. Oh, that looks pretty good. I want to have a little bit lighter color around the hummingbird. So that was how I did that. So now I'm going to go back to these graphics again, and I'll put splash this time and see what we get. And so some good similar things came up there. So let's go with something different here. Try this one back there. And now you can stretch this out, make it bigger, smaller, whatever you decide. And I'm going to send this back one. So go to position here, my layouts, and I can get rid of this now. So I will delete that, the circle. So now I will put this behind. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. That gives it, I want it to have the color that the bird's not blending in completely with that background. So now let's do the same thing here. So we'll go back to elements and we will find something to go with that as well. Let's see. Um, um, let's go with swash again and see what we get. Try this one. All right, now I'm going to shrink it down just to get that in there. And get that in there just right. And now I'm going to go to position again. Position, and I will pull this down under the bird, and then I'll get rid of this circle here because we're not going to be printing that circle. I don't think I'm a fan of this. So let's edit this image and see what we get for colors here. I don't like that green on that pink. So let's go with something a little different. I don't like any of those. But anyway, you can see how that can be done. I'm going to go back and put something lighter in there. So that would look pretty good on there. So now we've got some designs ready. I just wanted to show you how you can make images like that. I'm actually going to go with these purple ones that I designed because they'll match my wind spinner that I'm going to be hanging these 3 small wind spinners from some bigger wind spinners that I have. And I'll show you that later. So this is how you can design in Canva to get your image. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit share and I'm going to download. I want to make sure I have PNG selected. I'm going to raise my size up because I have the Canva Pro. I'm going to raise that DPI up all the way. And now I'm going to hit transparent background. And now I'm going to download these images. And then I'm going to bring them into a Word document. and then we'll get ready to print. So one of these, because I don't have words on these, one I'm going to print not reversed, and one I'm going to print reversed. And we'll talk about this soon. So now I've got these downloaded. So now I will extract them and we will get into our printing. So now I have opened a Word document here because I print from Word. You can use whatever you want to print. I just find that works really well for me. So I'm going to go to layout options here. And just so that you can see it better, orientation, I'm going to change to landscape. And I have my margins set to 0. And size, I'm going to do an 8.5 by 11. Make this a little bit bigger for you here. So now I'm going to insert those images. And we are going to do these twice. So the first one I am going to pick up here, and I'm going to bring in my downloads here. The Hummingbird Wind Spinner images, bringing them in here, and they should be uploading here. There they come. 1, 2, 3. So now I am going to hit layout option here, this icon, which is up here as well. It says wrap text. So you can go here. You're going to want to click through on each one of these, wrap and through, wrap, click on the image and then go to the icon and wrap and through so that you can move them around on the page. So I'm going to center these in here, get them, on here real nicely. So now, because we are going to be, I'm going to actually Control C, Control V, each of these, copy and paste, Control C, Control V, and do this one, Control C, Control V, because I'm going to be able to fit these all on one page. So I'm going to move these down. And now I'm going to try and flip these. Let's see if I can rotate these. I don't usually do it this way. I usually do it during printing. But let's see if I can get, there we go, flip horizontal. So I'm going to click on this one now, and I'm going to go to this little icon here, and I'm going to flip horizontal so you can see one is forward, one is backward. And again, go to this little icon here, flip horizontal. Now, when I print these, I am going to have the same image on both sides. So it'll be more uniform when it spins. Now, if you have words on there, you are not going to want to leave one the right way. You're going to want to reverse both sides. But because I don't have words on here, it doesn't matter. So now I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to go to Print, and I am using a different printer than this. I'm using my Epson EcoTank 2760 that I've converted over to sublimation printing by adding sublimation ink. And I've been using this printer for 2 years and it works phenomenal. So if you want some instructions on that, you'll have to leave me a message below and I'll get you those instructions for that. Now I'm going to go into printer properties here. And oh, one more thing here before I forget. It says my printer is offline, and that's because I use a printer cable when I print, and I suggest you use a printer cable when you print instead of Wi-Fi, because Wi-Fi can cut out, periodically, and that's going to leave lines in your design. So always use a printer cable for sublimation printing. So now I'm going to go into printer properties, and I'm going to make sure I have premium presentation paper matte selected, high quality, of course, color. And now I'm going to go to more options, and I'm going to make sure I have emphasize more here and emphasize thin lines. This is just my preference. I like to do that. I think I get a better print from it. And with sublimation printing, you always mirror your images. But because we have these images one way and one the other, it doesn't matter in this situation. So I'm going to leave mirror image on because for this sublimation printer, I like to leave mirror image on because I print mainly mirrored. So I'm going to show you here now too. You see this black outline. That is the part of the paper that's going to print inside there. And you can see that nothing is cut off here. So that's perfect. I don't want anything cut off. So now I will go and print these. And then I will come back and I will show you how I am going to press. Okay, so I'm going to be using my htvront auto heat press. So I'm going to turn it on here. And the last time I used it, I had it set for 385 degrees and I ran it for some sessions of 99 seconds. So of course I'm going to keep my 385 degrees, but I am going to lower my time down to 60 seconds for these. And we're going to be pressing both sides at the same time, but I want my heat press to heat up while I am getting my designs ready. Some of the other things that I am using heat resistant tape. I am using heat gloves or oven gloves, because these are going to be super hot. And I am using htvront sublimation paper. I'm using the 125. As we're getting started here, you are going to see that there is protective coating on both sides of these wind spinner blanks. So you need to remove the protective coating from both sides of the wind spinner. After removing that protective coating, you're going to want to clean your blank. The first thing I do is I take a lint roller and I go over it, because when these little metal wind spinners are cut, they leave metal fragments. And so this will pick up the metal fragments, and then you can also clean them with rubbing alcohol, and I like to use coffee filters because they are lint free. But I do start with a lint roller to catch all those little metal fragments. And here is my Epson EcoTank 2760 that I've converted over, like I said, to sublimation printing by adding sublimation ink. And you can see that the prints are almost complete. So now I have trimmed these designs out, and you can see that each one has the matching part. And so I am going to get these laid out and ready to press. So I have added this silicone mat to my heat press, and it works really, really good. I added it right to the pad that came with my heat press, and then I'm going to put some protective paper down, and then I will get these wind spinners situated on that paper. So now I centered these wind spinners right on top of this sublimation paper. Now I'm going to add these designs right on top. So now I've added my first top, and as you can see, I am taping it right down to the protective paper with heat resistant tape. So now I've got all three of my designs ready to go, and my heat press is almost up to temperature. All right, so the heat press is up to temperature here, so I'm going to close this. And I'm going to run it through for one cycle, 385 degrees Fahrenheit for 60 seconds. So here is one side. Yeah, they turned out really, really well. The front and the back. And so when they spin, they'll be the same. It looks really good. They all turned out really nicely. The color is very vivid. So now I'm going to let these cool, and then we will hang them. So the spinners came with these hangers, which is really nice because that is what gives them the ability to spin. So the top two, I have pressed them apart and they're ready to go. I have the last one here is still flat. And here I have all three of them pressed apart and ready to be hung. So here you can see them, and I attach them to the bottom of my wind spinners. The colors look lovely together. So let's give this a little spin here. And you can see how good they look when they spin. They look amazing. I brought them in the house too to give them a little spin here so that you can see a little bit better without all of that wind. So we got two of them spinning. Let's get them all spinning there. Yeah, they turned out really good. I love it. Well, I think it turned out great. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe to my channel and see links below for items that I've used in this video. Have a great day.